Well, moved the woodshed yesterday. See the following clip, and I'll explain why.
Moving the woodshed.
That's cool, I need help now.
This is where it used to live. It's right here. And we moved it to make room for what's going to be a new rainwater collection site for potable water. So this green shed, this dilapidated rundown thing, is coming down, and that's going to turn into a pump house on the end, and then another cabin area for when the kids are here on the other end. Then over here we're going to have a 1600 gallon tank, possibly two, depending on size. And the reason we had to put it on this side of the house has no room. So we just did a new roof last year, well actually this year, and we're going to put on new gutters as part of the rainwater plan. And so the plan is going to be to bring the gutters down from both sides to the tank, which means I couldn't do any of this until the gutters get done, because we have to change the direction of the flow of the rainwater. The rainwater right now, the gutters are going the other way. So we're going to put a tank here, 1600 gallon tank, and then in the pump house is going to be a little pressure system and UV light and some filtration, so we can make that 1600 gallon of water potable. Then the overflow out of this tank is going to go into a barrel with a sump, which will pump, oh I can't take you back there, but which will pump into our existing rainwater collection area on the other side of the house. I'll show you that. A little bit hard to see with the glare, but this is our current how we collect most of our rainwater. Comes off the one side of the roof, so just half the roof, into these two stacked up IBC Totes, which are currently empty. And then the overflow out of this goes into this barrel, and then out of this barrel we have an overflow that goes into the drainage out to the yard and the septic field. So in order to have a way for the big tank to overflow, I needed to tie in its overflow into this system so that we could get the water out the overflow, because there will be times of rain where we get too much rain and the system can't actually handle it all. So that's why we've got it built that way. And then what we do is, from that two bank of IBC Totes, I pump the water out into this 8 tote battery here, which is still being finished up. But this 8 tote battery takes the roof water. We also have rainwater coming in from the new greenhouse roof into this tote, which when it gets full, I can then pump it into this battery. And in the next few days and weeks here, I'll be going to my source for totes, IBC Totes, and picking up probably 8 more. And what we're gonna do, hopefully you can see this, is we have this kind of driveway area that goes from down here up back behind the chicken pen and kind of behind the ocean spray back there. You can't really see it, but that's kind of dead space. So we're just going to take and line up those 8 totes along that row, and then when the totes behind me get full, I can just pump water from them down into those totes as further storage, another battery of water. And then when I need that water, I can run a cord or rig up a solar 12-volt battery system to pump the water out of those totes up back into these totes, because these totes are tied into our water pump system that runs off of our greenhouse and this 12-volt panel. And that's how we usually water most of the yard, and everything is from there. So the reason that we're having to do all this, good morning babies, good morning Deets, is we get a significant amount of rainfall in the wintertime, and then we go into drought conditions in June, July, and August, where, you know, this year has been especially bad, but most years the average is like, you know, 1.75 inches of rain in all of July, maybe not even that, all of June, and about 2 inches in June, about 1 inch in July, and then about another 1 inch or 2 inches in August. So we need that water capacity to basically tide us over and get us through to October, November, when the batteries start to refill again. So that's the reason for this whole process. And it's surprising how much water you use. Every time we water our yard, our whole yard, it takes about a half a tote, 125 gallons, roughly 3/4 of a tote, depending on how dry things are. So this basically, we do about once a week. So this tote system, if we don't get any rain, will last us about 8 to 10 weeks. So that's 2 months. And without rain, that's not enough to be able to go through the dry season, which is what we've encountered this year. So with those 8 totes down there, that's going to get us another 2 months potentially of watering. And so that'll get us through the dry season into the rainy season. So thanks for watching. If that makes sense, if you got any comments, please drop them below. Any tips, we're sure to appreciate it. And Mama Chicken and her babies say hi.